Thank you, Dr. Namrata, for giving me this opportunity to present my views on viral keratitis. We've already had a discussion on corneal bacterial keratitis, fungal keratitis, different modes of treatment. And now we are left with another important entity, which is viral keratitis. To briefly go over viral keratitis, the sequence of events of viral keratitis that you may be in a condition where there is no HSV eye infection. It may lead to primary HSV infection, eye disease, or we may start with a primary extraocular HSV infection. All these things, when they lead to primary herpes simplex virus eye disease, it may go into a latent phase or it may go into a recurrent eye disease. The primary, what do we understand by primary ocular HSV infection? This is the first infection in a non-immune host, and the presentation is usually not very severe, usually occurs in children, and it presents with simple blepharitis which may be missed, simple lid margin vesicles which may be missed, or a conjunctivitis, and rarely dendritic keratitis. It's only after the primary infection the virus goes into latency. The biggest bugbear of viral keratitis is recurrence. And the different manifestations of recurrent could be blepharoconjunctivitis, dendritic keratitis, epithelial keratitis, stromal keratitis, or it is a combined form of all these, or a simple endothelitis, or it could be a limbitis, or it could be iridocyclitis. The dendritic keratitis, the 25 to 50% recurrence occurs within 2 years of initial infection. The recurrent ocular HSV infection, which we mean, is infection in a previously sensitized host. I am telling you this in detail because herpetic infection usually does not occur in isolation, that it will be only either a dendritic or it will be only stromal. These are different layers of the cornea which may get affected and may present in that manner. So the therapeutic modality has to work like that. If we start from the first one, that is the epithelial keratitis, the commonest which all of us must have seen is a dendritic keratitis. It's seen as a branching linear ulcer which is a fluorescent stain positive. Surrounding epithelium is very loosely attached to the underlying Bowman's membrane. The variation is that you may have a coarse superficial punctate keratitis, and they are usually associated with loss of sensation. This is a typical picture I just want to show. A patient who just came a history of photophobia. On a simple torchlight or maybe in a diffuse examination, you may miss this lesion. It's only on fluorescent stain when we get a very nice branching dendritic keratitis. And this is the same thing when it had progressed. This is just a variation in a sense that do not confuse the herpetic keratitis with these small nummular lesions which are seen in cases of adenoviral infection. And I've seen a lot of adenoviral, these kind of infections being given topical acyclovir, which should not be done. The other form of epithelial, so epithelium once if involved, it may be a dendritic or it could be a geographical or an amoeboid ulcer when we have broad area of epithelial ulceration with irregular angulated maps. The other variation is it could be a marginal involvement when we have a peripheral corneal infiltrates, an important differential diagnosis in peripheral ulcerative keratitis, or we may have indolent epithelial ulcers. This is what a typical geographical or an amoeboid ulcer presents. The patient, it has and very nicely seen with a fluorescent stain. The other varieties of stromal keratitis, mind you, stromal keratitis does not have the virus replicating there. It's an antigen-antibody immune reaction, so the treatment is different. They may be just a superficial keratitis. It may be associated with superficial keratitis. It may be in the form of a disciform keratitis or a deep focal keratitis, diffuse stromal keratitis, a necrotizing keratitis, or an interstitial keratitis. All these forms of stromal keratitis are quite common and seen really quite frequently. To begin with, The stromal keratitis, it usually presents like this, a diffuse kind of a corneal edema. When seen on a focal slit, you can see the corneal edema, deeper layers affected, associated KPs. It may be missed as in here there is a focal edema present, but rarely it may present with diffuse corneal edema, and I've had cases which have been treated as acute angle closure glaucoma, were given mannitol, but actually they had stromal keratitis. They may have pigment dusting on the endothelium. The hallmark of stromal keratitis is there is a markedly raised intraocular pressure in these cases, which may be 40, 50, 60. And of course, there is no way you can assess the flare, but it's a very, very mild flare in these cases. Disciform keratitis we are all used to seeing is a small central round kind of a lesion, marked corneal edema, and sometimes at a resident level it may be missed as a corneal opacity. It is associated with marked anesthesia, and in severe cases they may have associated bullous keratopathy. These are the cases, the diffuse stromal keratitis, deeper layer are involved. This is just to show you certain pictures. These are the two eyes of the same patient who had this kind of a lesion on the cornea. Here if you really look at it, there is present, this is the area which is scarred, while there is present a central corneal edema fusiform picture, or even if this is a stromal keratitis where we have a minimal bit of involvement. As I told you, the biggest bugbear is the recurrent. One particular area may heal, but you may get edema in another area. Or we may have a picture where we have endothelitis, where the deeper layers of the cornea are only involved, remaining cornea being clear and associated with KPs. Or it may be presenting in the form of a recurrent. This was what I saw just 2 days back, a case of recurrent keratouveitis. I had seen the patient 2 years back and just treated with topical steroids till she came up again with localized focal stromal edema, KPs, and I never thought she will have another lesion till I actually stained, and you can see a small area. So this is actually a combination of epithelial and stromal keratitis. We may have trophic ulcers, or maybe a hepatic limbitis when there is a localized involvement of deep stroma at limbus. Hepatic iridocyclitis is a definite entity. It is an irritative form. There is a direct uveal invasion by virus. Comes with pain. Hypopyon may be hemorrhagic. The hallmark being increased intraocular pressure. There may be marked localized corneal edema, minimal flare and moderate KPs. As I've been talking about, the commonest presentation of viral keratitis in our setup is a combined presentation of epithelial and stromal keratitis. So evaluate each element so that a therapeutic modality is given in that manner. And this is another case, like we have these lesions and always stain. Like this is the case which I saw actually yesterday only. There is a marked big epithelial defect, associated stromal edema. So it's always nice to stain these cases before, then go on for a treatment. Never start topical steroids and viral keratitis till you have stained it, because they may be having an associated epithelial involvement. Again, it is not uncommon to see interstitial keratitis in the form of a single or a multiple patches of dense white, absolutely white, dense necrotic corneas, which may be having even yellowish look with associated vessels. They are severe forms. These are the forms of which I am talking about, interstitial keratitis, and they often come with repeated recurrences. Endothelitis I have already talked about. This is a typical one case who had a multifocal IOL done by a very noted ophthalmologist. Still the patient presented within 1 month with a localized corneal edema, and patient had just endothelitis and responded very well to topical steroids and acyclovir combination. Coming on to the management, these are the multiple acyclovir antivirals which have been developed. The dendritic keratitis we manage, fluorescein stain positive, note the extent. Important is to note the extent. You may take a picture, and the treatment choice is 3% acyclovir to be used 5 times a day, or 1% TFT 9 times a day. Nowadays we have 0.15% ganciclovir gel also available, which can be used 5 times a day, or now lately some people say 3 times a day. But this is in no way superior to 3% acyclovir. So there's a trend, whenever a new drug comes, everybody tends to give it, but it's a similar efficacy. And you may use a mild cycloplegic along with it. I'll be telling later, rarely we use oral acyclovir 400 mg 5 times a day. This is rare. Or valacyclovir or famciclovir. Follow up the patient at 48 to 72 hours, reassess. There is a limited role of debridement. I don't prefer it. Taper the medicine slowly when the stain is negative. Long-term use of topical acyclovir also leads to dry eye and SPK, which may be missed as a non-resolving viral keratitis. At 72 hours, assess the patient again. Whether there is no improvement or a minimal improvement, revise the diagnosis. You may change the brand of antiviral. Check the compliance. See if there is any associated dry eye, or are we dealing with primary dry eye, or am I dealing with primarily a superficial corneal dystrophy. There may be an associated bacterial fungal infection. Nowadays, the dictum is if there is no improvement, consider CMV endothelitis or acanthamoeba keratitis. CMV endothelitis is also not uncommon. Do I have 5 minutes more, Namrata? Okay. So this is just to tell you a typical case of a dendritic keratitis. This is the same patient at 72 hours. Same patient at 72 hours, complete resolution of the lesion, where you can say there is no fluorescent stain. In case we have a stromal keratitis and there is no epidefect, start the patient on topical corticosteroids. I usually start with diluted, but if there is a severe corneal edema, I like to give them full strength. Slowly taper it. My reason for giving topical steroid because it minimizes the scarring and vascular invasion. Antiviral prophylaxis may be given if there is a recurrences, which is 400 mg BD oral acyclovir for 6 months, or famciclovir 250 mg BD or valacyclovir 500 mg BD for 6 months. Associated with lubricants, and these patients need to undergo the kidney function test to be performed regularly. If there is a combined epithelial and stromal keratitis, I like to give them topical antiviral, wait for lesion to heal, and then only start steroids. In case we have done a graft in a patient with viral keratitis, it's mandatory to give these patients oral acyclovir, and or sometimes I resort to giving them cyclosporin A also. This is the recurrence of a viral keratitis in a graft. This may trigger a graft rejection and a graft failure. The differential diagnosis I've already talked about is acanthamoeba keratitis or candida keratitis, diffuse stromal keratitis, or corneal opacity or post-traumatic. So non-resolving viral keratitis, you just see at what time you're assessing, whether there's any dry eye, is it a drug toxicity or a super infection. Like this is not uncommon at times when patient is on steroids and epidefect is present and patient comes with hypopia. There are all these reports available on a hepatic eye disease study trial. The most significant being that oral acyclovir has benefit. The significant is this, that oral acyclovir long-term 400 BG1 near reduces the recurrence rate. In case you are getting recurrent, please consider starting these patients on oral acyclovir. And these are the indications of oral. Whenever I am doing a graft in a viral keratitis patient, or I am doing a cataract surgery or a glaucoma surgery in viral keratitis, I always put these patients on oral acyclovir. Or if it is recurrent or poorly responding epithelial keratitis. This is just to show a case of viral keratitis, and this was the only eye for the patient. Since graft prognosis is not too good, I took the patient up for cataract surgery. Till at 1 month, patient came with recurrence, and she had stopped the oral acyclovir in between. Long-term follow-up is needed to rule out drug toxicity or steroid-induced glaucoma. So these are the different trials. Future is in the use of immunomodulators, gene treatment, and disc vaccines. That's all I just want to say that. And masquerades. Masquerades for viral keratitis, where I've seen very commonly this is being wrongly diagnosed. It's a necrotizing keratouveitis, severe iridocyclitis, corneal edema, hemorrhagic uveitis, and neurotrophic keratitis. So effectively, when you have a good play between topical acyclovir, steroids, oral acyclovir, and lubricants, it gives you a very fruitful answer to your management. Thank you very much.